And obviously Ian Gillan as well. Took a bit longer, but he completely awful what happened to his voice. And he did improve his technique and he sounded good again. But he never didn't sound like he did when he was young, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, there's another solution to that, which is, you know, is make instrumental music. See what I did there?
Yeah.
See the seed?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Almost seamless.
Yeah. Welcome to In the Golden Horizon. Yeah, we're doing the Dixie Dregs.
Woohoo!
What If? With a rubbish cover. Now, we'll talk about covers later on because the covers get better, actually. But yeah, that's one of those typical nothing covers. There's nothing, it's nothing. It isn't a cover, nothing there.
Interestingly enough, their first album was on Spotify, but this one wasn't.
That is interesting because it's interesting we're doing this one because I think the sort of main sequence is supposed to start with Freefall, the previous one, but it's really hard to get hold of.
Wow, that's on Spotify.
Interesting.
I think there's a massive gap, I would guess. I haven't looked at the discography yet, but I would imagine there's a bit of a gap on Spotify. That's neither here nor there for this, really. It's just
because this is for CDs. Yeah. This channel. If you don't buy the CDs, you're not allowed to watch this channel. Yeah, so we're doing What If, and there's three independent things to talk about. There's the composition, there's the musicianiness, the playing, and there's the guitar. That's the three things, you know, we could talk about. But all three of those score. I can't quite see the screen, but I think there's the top there. I mean, wasn't it John Lennon? Very early Beatles, before they were famous, they used to get depressed, and John Lennon would say, "Yeah, but where are we going?" And they'd say, "To the toppermost of the poppermost." So this is the toppermost of the toppermost and the poppermost. This is for all three of those things score at the top tier, the top one. Awesome fusion, blend of styles. It goes from catchy rock melody, which Tommy Vance used on the Rock Show, to Mavishnu fusion stuff, to neoclassical, to bluegrass, to this unbelievably fantastic harmonic progression piece that is just unique and wonderful at the end as well. Also country.
Yeah, I did something quite interesting actually with this album. I actually went out of my way to listen to it one track at a time.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, I gave it, you know, the first listen all the way through, and then I thought, I'll try something a little bit different here. Do one track at a time. I mean, immediately I was impressed. You know, woohoo! This is pretty good. Yeah. It's really annoying. I mean, I considered doing a bad review of this simply because we've been doing quite a few good albums recently.
We have, yeah.
And it's sort of
well, we did Prodigy Experience.
Yeah, this is not like that.
This is far from that.
I mean, the fact that you say there's three elements to this: the composition, the musicianship, and guitariness. I'd also say on this particular version, the production, it is crystal clear.
Yeah, crisp sound.
Yeah, such a great sound, and with the exception of maybe the violin, which sounds like it's being played in a cupboard.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's on purpose. Yeah, I imagine it's quite hard to record a violin, with the exception of King Crimson, who seem to manage it flawlessly for some reason. But it does sound like it's played in a hall or something like that. But
it does, yeah.
I mean, it gives it a bit of character actually.
Perhaps it's just stop those reverb,
yeah. But the guitar, it needs that crisp sound because some of the guitar runs are awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome times 10. Jazz fusion. Seems definitely very technical. But I mean, there's like the Gina Lola breakdown, which is typical sort of music. It's quite exciting. A lot of people like that Night Meets Light, the last track, which you said. And actually, I find What If and Night Meets Light to be actually quite boring. What has happened to me?
Controversial.
Yeah, that is controversial. I actually really got into it on Odyssey.
Yeah,
track 2.
For me, that's the other one. Yeah.
And Travel Tunes is it's got that sort of amazingness about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, really good stuff. Shows what you can do without vocals. I think it gets us back on track with some good. I mean, we call it jazz fusion.
Prog-related
non-mainstream, non-mainstream music.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? It's basically all styles of music.
Yeah.
All of them.
And the best thing about it is the length.
It's short, isn't it?
It is quite short. I mean, when it finished, I was like, is that it? I don't know if that's it is particularly short. I don't know actually how long it is. I should have done some research and all that, but who cares? So it's a punchy whack of awesomeness, yeah, which I wasn't expecting. Especially, what's this? Quite late in the 70s, isn't it?
78.
78. I mean, at that point, you know, we're definitely on the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not expecting something so breathtaking at that point. So yeah, good album. Definitely worth a listen. Definitely worth a purchase, I would say.
Yeah. This is what I was listening to while we were doing Kansas. I couldn't bother with Kansas. I was listening to some stuff because there is a Kansasness. I'm sure they like Kansas. They must have done because Kansas came a bit earlier. So I mean, you have to compare it to Mavishnu, but it's so much cleaner than Mavishnu. It's not just the production; it's the playing as well. It's the style. You know, it doesn't really have the Hendrixiness. Everything's just clean and crunchy and crisp and wonderful.
Yeah, everything, literally everything.
Yeah, but it's also, I think, it's also more recognisable as rock in the stereotypical sense. Because it's so diverse, that's not a bad thing at all, because you've got a bit of that and then you've got something else. Yeah, Odyssey is probably the one to put on first, I think, because it's the proggy playing thing with the riff. And there's even a bit of Fripp sustain on there, very, very Fripp-esque. So that's fantastic. Yeah. So, if your name is Steve, you should learn to play the guitar, I think is the basic gist of it. You know, what should a guitar sound like? It should be Jeff Beck, really, but forget that for a moment. You know, Jeff Beck does his thing, and that's it. I mean, the thing about Steve Morse is, you know, that he breaks so many records in so many awards he won and whatever. It's so diverse. He can play everything, but it never just sounds like, oh, it just sounds like such and such. You know, it always sounds like Steve Morse. So he's got his own unique style and this fantastic tone, but he can play all these styles as well. You know, and I think that's what it is. That's why he's so highly. I mean, John Petrucci is obviously a big fan, and that's the best way to emphasise it. You know, the thing about John Petrucci, he can play lots of things perfectly, and his precision is amazing. But it's all the notes in the correct order, isn't it, with John Petrucci? Out of the confines of Dream Theater, it's kind of because there's nothing there. You know, there's no uniqueness. There's nothing special. Steve Morse can do all of that, and he has his own unique tone, and each note sounds fantastic and special. You know. If we were to do the thing, what does he sound like? You know, Steve Howe meets Richie Blackmore meets Steve Vai meets John McLaughlin, I suppose, but he doesn't really sound like any of them. He sounds like Steve Morse. That's good. So what do you reckon was the best song?
Odyssey, I reckon.
Yeah, that's probably the first place to go. I mean, not It's Light. I mean, I have heard it for many years, and it did sort of pass me by before. Well, it's that one that just goes plinky plinky for a long time. I think I had the King Biscuit Flower Hour live thing when I was about 12 or something, and that was the one just felt impenetrable at that age. It was just, you know, but it is absolutely sublime. Obviously, you've got to be in the right mood for it. Whereas, you know, take it off the top, you can put it on, man. It's great.
Yeah.
And you've got, but that you know, track 1 to track 8, you go all that way. You know, brilliant.
I mean, it can feel a little bit at times like, oh, we're having a bit of country and western there, and then we're going to have a bit of rock in the tracks, and then a bit of prog. But you don't notice it that much because it's actually really good. It's like they're picking out the best bits. Like,
Yeah.
I would never listen to sort of like American country and western, but Gina Lola Breakdown.
You
know, around about this is cool. I think what really worked. I mean, you say this, Steve Morse is excellent and all that, which is obviously true, but there can be, especially because it's a jazz fusion, like there's a jazz sort of issue there. Jazz musicians can get a little bit bogged down in technique.
Yeah.
And it kind of undermines the composition. You know, they're all about producing a tone or something like that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen here, although there is some awesome technique, you know. I can
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's so sort of academic, but it doesn't
detract from it at all.
It never falls into the usual thing where it makes it a bit boring.
No.
It's just so much fun.
Yeah,
it's got this sense of fun about it.
Yeah, it is. There is that. It's very difficult to... I was thinking about it actually, because every tone has got like this upbeat funness about it. And I was trying to extract how they're actually putting that in, because it's just notes.
Yeah.
It's not like stupid lyrics or anything like that.
Yeah.
I was going to mention Frank Zappa then, but I won't do that. That's silly. Or Trackmaster Replica, where the funniness is in the stupidness in the music. This is genuinely good music, yet it's fun.
Yeah.
And that can only come from the personalities of the band members, I think. Just kind of infusing the music with their personality.
Yeah, and everyone talks about Steve Morse, but it's the whole band.
Yeah,
the
they're all
drummer's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not the original drummer. I think the original drummer was Steve Morse's brother. I don't know if he was actually ever on an album though. I don't know if that was before that, I'm not sure. And the violin guy, obviously. Yeah, fantastic.
It's not often you get good violin in music.
Well, yeah, electric violin was, it sort of came and went, didn't it? You've got Vishnu, ELO, and Dixie Dregs. That's it. It's finished then. And Kansas. I mean, yeah, so I think what a lot of it is, it's that mixture. Compositionally, it's not really much like with Vishnu. Whereas, John McLaughlin would have written the song, which meant, right, we've got a bit that goes da-na-na-na-na. Okay, just keep doing that and then we'll play some solos. It's never like that at all, not even Odyssey, really. It's composed, they've sat down and written stuff, obviously. They probably had to write it, I would think, rather than memorise it. So there's an awful lot more going on in that sense than with Vishnu.
I mean, it must have been quite a daunting thing to perform this, sort of live. I mean, even was it Iced Cakes, where they've got, like, basically a completely different song sort of comes in at one point and they keep playing that. I thought, flip it. That's sort of like doubling back on yourself midstream sort of thing. Imagine trying to play that live would be quite interesting. You could get that wrong quite easily.
I mean, it is one of those bands, if you watch a video of it, it's if you're really paying attention, it is a bit of a at the same time, you can also put it on passively. You don't really get that.
Yeah.
You just get, this is good. Yeah, they're playing, It's going.
Does that mean we've got to egg this bugger?
That's 5 eggs.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, and that's instrumental albums. There's a limitation there, or that particular type of instrumental album, instrumental band album, of the show-off album, which is essentially what it is. But it's at the very, very top of that. Mm-hmm. It almost transcends that as best but it's possible, So yeah, definitely 5 eggs. It's a good album.
5 egg album.
Yeah, join us next week for Night of the Living Dregs with a better cover. Better cover.